Welcome guys, today we're going to watch a replay. I'm not going to do this bit. Between AGame and NoFun, this is just a casual replay, this is not for JC5. Although, they are going to meet in the group stage pretty soon. You can see AGame rocking these new colors. I think actually they're the colors of the Jirachi patch kind of officially now, since we've finally come up with a logo for it. Ah, you're just in time. So the map is going to be Torrent Crater. His opponent, of course, is going to be NoFun up in the top here as the Soban, rocking his pretty typical cyan and yellow stripe. Look at that beautiful freaking carrier. Tasty. Anyhow, let's see what AGame's plan is going to be here. Actually, no, I think I already know. It looks like he's going for ref mode first here. He's going to retain the base runner, though. And he goes a little bit more CU heavy, I think, than we normally do, in the idea here is probably that he's not retiring the base runner. Instead, he's going to make some blast drones, and that's going to chew up a couple of CUs. And he uses this, I think, for defense, in light of the fact that his opponent could be rushing him and he does not have a scanner to check for it. I could be wrong. So ref mode does not come first. He's going to get sand skimmer fabrication. Perhaps this is just an LDM operation then. Important things to note here, and this actually made a difference in the tournament games that AGame and I played yesterday and that I plan to cast after this. But this Con of Carrier is a freaking speedy boy now. I think its base speed is 45 if I'm not mistaken. And then the low levels of mobility support, I believe, had their percentage speed increase higher, whereas the higher levels have it a bit lower. I believe it used to be Power 5 was like plus 25% speed or something. Oh, I could be wrong about that. No, I think that's true. Ah, you know what it was? In the previous patch, it used to be plus 20 flat. Okay, so now it's the 20%, right. So it's lower for any unit that has less than 100 speed and higher for any unit that has more than 100 speed, right? AKA sand skimmers. Now, the thing that I was thinking about, or rather that AGame was thinking about when he made this change was like, are we going to see like insane sand skimmer plays? But what I noticed yesterday is that even with Power 1, see, he outspeeds the Soban carrier. And I'll cast my tournament games of the AGame after this, but you'll find that that's pretty relevant, actually. So this is some kind of weird build. I've never seen this before. This is actually Assault Ship Fab coming up. But very late. Like, this is 27, I think, like, 50 or so when it started. Of course, we use this timer counting backwards. It's kind of a jank system, but what you gonna do? Oh, it's 2 PC. You know, in our testing games, AGame is always Coalition, but he long told me that the 2 PC build was still really good for Torrent Crater. Unless, of course, they get stuck like this. This is always a bit of an issue, but I'm sure he'll figure it out. But yeah, I've just always been doing 1 PC AS, like AS contains, basically, and this is a build that exists, but it hasn't generally been as strong in the Jirachi patch, but he's gonna use it. Oh no, he's still freaking stuck in this rivet. This is quite unfortunate. Ooh. Okay, there we go. He finally unsticks himself. If you're wondering, the way that you do this, like, I don't know why units get stuck like that, but if you just give them a different move order, it'll fix it. Usually, anyway. Sometimes you have to give them 2 or 3, but really good probe here. It's gonna scout AS Tech if he was looking. He knows it's not eco as well because he saw the LDM salvagers backing up to the carrier. So this is quite a lot of information for NoFun, and he probably knows, okay, it's time to get into defense mode. Choice of AVs is interesting. He knows that it's assault ship, right? But the problem with AVs here is that they often are, it's difficult to like contain the assault ships from holding up like the 3rd base or something, but look how much area he's already gotten here, which is good. This is not so good though. He's kind of making this work. Targeting jammer comes out a little bit back here. I think maybe this isn't targetable from in front, but I think it probably is. Yeah, it's targetable from in front. But that's good to buy a little bit of time, just make sure that this AV couldn't get chased down here. Still 2 AVs ready to defend. If they get up on like the brow of this hill, it's going to be like okay for him. But the problem, of course, is that now he's given up this kind of area of ground, and his opponent can contain him a little bit. That always makes things risky if your opponent plans on teching up to to ref mode and then backing away. This AS needs to move out. He's gonna be safe. Damage comes into the salvagers here, and the blast run does connect. So that's basically what A-Game wanted. 3 salves left on that expansion. And then Fighter and Gunship is going to be teched by NoFun. Now this is an interesting call. Also, I did read what she said. The reason why the turn radius was decreased for, not this carrier, for this carrier here, is because you often had what we would call coalition washing machine syndrome, where you'd try to turn and it would just be like, you just want to like turn the carrier this way, and he goes, you know, it's just like it's a bad time. That's basically what they were trying to fix. Anyway, like I said, the call to go for air here is kind of interesting, and it's gonna be a double gunship. No, just one. Oh, he doesn't have carry production yet, I don't think. But it would not work if this push was sustained, right? This is a 2PC push. Air does not work against 2PC, but I think that NoFun was just saying, like, look, I know he's going to back away. Like, he clearly doesn't want to win here. He just wants to... Well, yeah, he wants to win, but not yet. He just wants to, like, sort of push me back and then get more eco than me. So this is actually a really kind of nice response. Oh, what a beefy targeting jammer. Oh my gosh. That hit every single one of them. Yeah, he's gonna trade really efficiently now. Should probably target this weak one and maybe use smoke to keep this guy alive, but like, you know, you win some, you lose some. Gunship is out too. He's actually just gonna use it against the AS here. I'm actually not sure about that choice. I think you go to the main and just start hammering people, but he was, as he can see with his vision from the gunship, correct. His opponent did go back to eco, so this is... Wow. See, this is what I like about NoFun, right? I mean, obviously, he's not the best player in the world, you know? He still has a lot of learning to do, but he just makes sensible decisions, you know what I mean? I feel like most players being rushed by A-Game like that would not have said, well, let's go air, I'm sure he's gonna back away to ref mode. Like, they're too flustered to even think about such things, but... My boy NoFun, he knows what he's doing. He's like the Omnidroid from, like, The Incredibles, you know what I mean? Every time you do something to him, he's like, oh, I see. And then... You know, he comes up with some kind of adaptation later. It's cool. You know, I actually did observe Phoenixio versus Sir Odysseus, that's his name. I was just kind of wanting to see, like... Oh no, walls of text are good. I was just wanting to see, like, how is Phoenixio playing, and I realized, like, this guy is really pretty adaptive, his opponent. He's still got... Well, maybe I shouldn't spoil it, but... I think I already did. But, he's actually pretty adaptive. Like, in Game 2, he did a lot of things to react to what his opponent was doing to him in Game 1. So, I think that guy's got some potential. Because, you know, everyone, when they start out playing this game, they're quite terrible, but, the people who are adaptive quickly become good at it. Not to be like BM, like, oh, everyone sucks at this game. It's just, you know... I mean, it's the same as if I was to start playing, like, StarCraft 2 again or something after my huge hiatus from that game. You know, I would be quite terrible at it. It's just, it's being adaptive that, really, you know, makes you, work. Makes you learn in an RTS. Yeah, I noticed this too. I was mentioning, I think, in the... Remember we did a 1v1 together on Firebase Krill, and I think this was like the game that made you decide, like, yeah, I think I need to reduce the damage output of these missiles or something. But in that game, you consistently got these base runners down to very low health, and then they would smoke, and then by the time they pick up an artifact again, they're at full health, and it seemed like really powerful. And yeah, I mean, the thing about the Conf carrier is that it's such a, like... yeah, I can confirm this is true, Wuji. I can confirm. Anyway, the thing about Conf power, I think, is that a lot of carriers are really straightforward in the way that they're used, you know what I mean? Like, look, I have a really powerful unit. If you don't have the damage to kill it, based on how much power it has, it's going to really make your life suck. But I feel like Conf is different in the sense that even if you are unable to take straight fights, just the amount of attrition that you can do with this carrier is huge. Even at, like, fairly low power levels, and so you really have to be, like, super careful allowing your Conf opponent to get power. Along with the base runner being able to reheal, that's a really strong thing. Also, A-Game, you are correct. Three base is definitely the right call. And again, I feel like a lot of people, having been rushed by A-Game, like, he got this insane targeting jammer play and he killed a lot of these AVs, so like, or assault chips, that is. Certainly he knows that, like, he's damaged his opponent and doesn't have that many units on the field, but still, I feel like a lot of players would not be expanding to 3-base like this. This is quite impressive. And we're going to get a chance to see again what he can do with this. Obviously, there's a bunch of AVs, or assault chips, that is, in his way. Double gunship, by the way, although they're kind of getting hampered by the missile ship placement, so the second one might have been a mistake. Oof. Of course, they're going to be safe. This is a really nice thing about gunships, that they're very easy to keep safe. But he's up against a superior number of AS and a missile ship here. But I wonder if there's some kind of sick targeting jammer play you can do. He's going to throw it out already. This stops the barrage, actually, which is pretty big news. And I don't think he can make this push work. You don't know, when targeting jammers are involved, sometimes there's a real chance of just random magic, but it did not work this time. Just gonna get barraged down by the missile ship, which is actually probably a bit of a waste, but it's okay. The artifact does get denied, which is quite good for A-Game, who has just gotten Con F Siege Tech, by the way. It's everybody's favorite unit. NoFun gonna unlock his carrier now, wants to get up to 3-base. Now I gotta say, one thing that's potentially risky for NoFun here is that he doesn't have any strike fighters, so if he comes across air from his opponent, he might be in trouble. But I do notice he has like an anti-air post up somewhere. He could get more too, because he's got 2 base runners out now. They're both on cooldown, but like by the time A-Game techs air, well, that's not necessarily true, because I feel like he could have teched air already. So that's a little bit risky, but it's obviously gonna work for him. Dep packs? No, it doesn't look like it. These LAVs are really kind of stuck in an awkward place, though. They're sort of trapped here. Oh! Look at that! That's horrible, actually, because in order to stay out of the targeting jammer, he has to, like, move through these LAVs. Yeah, so he's just gonna blow it up with the missile ship, which is fair, but, like, ow. That's really quite a play here. I do think these LAVs are dead, though. And you're right, Shrike, it's a bit of an odd call to go mass LAV versus, ooh. A bit of an odd call to go mass LAV versus, AS like this, because this is kind of what I imagine when I see that matchup. Although A-Game is really being a bit lazy and killing these guys here. They're just sitting there like, no, don't. This guy almost died, oh my gosh. Does A-Game know? He might be able to just sit it out. No, it did dock. Of course, what happened there is that you can only dock one gunship at a time. Okay, yeah, these guys are gonna die. And so, if one of the gunships is currently docking and there's a missile ship near your carrier, the other one just circles around like an idiot, and eventually it'll get killed by this missile ship, so gotta be careful to micro those, but he does get away with it. Although, that does make the recharge time quite a lot longer, of course, if the unit is damaged, but he'll be okay. So anti-air coverage here in the middle, where the big skimmer blob is. Whoa! Where the big skimmer blob is, and that does kind of make me a little bit nervous, but... Actually, yeah, you're really right. I was thinking of unlocking the carrier, but this is maybe more powerful in some sense. Thing is, though, he's got to keep this army here to stop A-Game from pushing in onto his base. Gets a probe snipe there, I like that. But he also has to make a push out to this area to grab an artifact and then come back over to this side. But now that he's got rails, I kind of feel like he can do that. There is Con F Siege out, he's got to be careful. But as a result, A-Game is going to tech rails himself, too. I feel like Coalition can kind of get away with like a no-rails game by doing like ACs and artillery, although it's never really ideal. But I don't think Galzian can really manage that, so I think Rail Fab is kind of forced at this point. So I'd say we're moving into like the late mid-game here. No one's bases have been touched, actually, which is pretty remarkable. Although, this is actually starting to get quite nervous. I didn't quite realize A-Game has yielded a lot of field here. Now, he can buy time by barraging here, like double barraging. And actually, I feel like he's kind of got to. Because he's about to start losing salves. Yeah, he needs to be double barraging this. Ooh. Yeah, that's a pity, because the early game was freaking sick. Also, did you know Con F Siege apparently can also direct fire attack while it's barraging? Freaking most balanced unit in the game. Uh-oh. Boom goes the dynamite. So he does lose a PC off of this, and he's actually chunking his own skimmers. That's never ideal. Oh, what a shot, man! NoFun is on the ball this game. Holy goodness. Oh, man. What the heck? He's doing really well. I mean, he could win this game, you know, against A-Game, which would be huge. Yeah. Well, Con of Siege may be insane, but it also has the potential to do massive team attack. That's for sure. Excuse me. Wowza. EMP shell coming out now for the siege cruisers. That's kind of an interesting call. Gonna pop out double PC here as well. So he's got 3 siege, quite a few AS still. What he's got to deal with actually is bombers, and he doesn't quite know it yet. But that's a really smart choice from NoFun, because when you tech rails here, there's always a chance that things are just sort of not going to work out for you, and it's quite risky. To go against Con of Siege with rails. Oh gosh, these gunships. Oh, freaking magician. Anyway, bombers are really good though, because his opponent probably won't expect this. He has anti-air already, but the thing about bombers is that you never have enough anti-air. You know what I mean? Oh, gunship, don't you die on me now. Oh, if he makes one bad turn, it's just game over. Okay, he docked. That really made me nervous. Yeah, it's important when you do a double dock like that to keep the other gunship back here or something until the carrier's ready to receive him. And you'll know he's ready because this thing turns gray and starts recharging. That's when you know. That's when you know that the gunship is the second gunship is ready to dock. Bit of attrition gonna come down here. I think this is just one barrage, which is probably wise. Actually, the other ones are on cooldown anyway, but the cooldown for barrages was greatly increased in this last patch. You can see it's now 140 seconds. And yeah, exactly this. You need to keep that barrage for this kind of moment. But this is a bad push into this dip here. If A-Game was on top of it, he probably could have killed all those rails actually already. But double barrage here kind of forces them back in. I feel like that's kind of the right play, but he's going to back away. First bomber comes out, does damage. Second bomber comes out, also going to do damage. He finds the weak KSC, which is good. And the third bomber should kill it. And so the A-Game knows, oh my gosh, it's going to be bombers, so he needs to get, I don't know, he's floating a bit. I think actually maybe he goes for air here, to be honest, but he definitely needs to get anti-air like right now, so it's going to be tough. This barrage is a bit of a miss here. This gunship is just kind of chewing, but I don't know if this is a good idea. I think it's going to die now, actually. Yeah, I think that gunship is dead. You know, you're kind of right and you're wrong, Shrike, because, like, I remember those days, too, and it was really fun to use them, but then, like, it was really bad to have them used against you. Because, this is back when God Hates Weaves was doing his, like, his crazy things. Yeah, that was, like, a sick targeting jammer. Where he would just do, like, bomber plays, and he figured out, like, if I can just tickle the PC a little bit, I can kill it with 2 bombers. And I actually, like, he never really practiced it enough, but I feel like he could have gotten really good at that. Really excellent use of marked target, by the way, makes those AVs a lot stronger. And this army's gonna get cleaned up here, and yeah, I mean, these targeting jammers are just unreal. Oh, and this is, like, the most fortunate timing for NoFun ever. His base just mined out, so he's leaving before these assault ships can get to him. And actually, he just got a wipe on his third base, so these 4 salvagers, which are free now, can just kind of go take it. Wait, what? Where did these guys? Oh, they didn't actually get killed. They just pulled off. Dang, nice. That's really cool. Here come the bombers again. Now, it's kind of a pity he lost that gunship, because what you can do now is some kind of funny plays. Like, see, we have 3 missile batteries here. If you, like, dunk the missile batteries with the bombers, you can do it with 2 bombers, and then a second bomber hits this one, and both of the gunships just kind of chunk this. You can kill, like, 2 of these missile batteries and then dock. And now your opponent's like, well, shoot, you know, like, if I don't get more, missile batteries, like, I'm gonna just start losing things here. And it looks like that's the play, so here he comes. But definitely having kept the other bomber alive would have been... Oh, no, he's just gonna go for the rails, and he's gonna get him. One of the bombers is gonna die. But wowza. A lot of damage comes in on those rails. Just kills them all, basically. I feel like what NoFun is doing is, like, ultimate anti-blob, you know what I'm saying? Like, every time a game blobs up, like, here, have a targeting jammer, here, have a bomber, you know what I mean? This is, like, freaking juicy. I'm loving this. Really glad this game was put on the Casual Replays channel. By the way, use the Casual Replays channel if you have a good game. Yes, seriously. Remember when I cast just the casual replay between him and Shrike, and I was saying, like, he just plays so clean. This is what I meant, you know what I mean? And then that didn't exactly happen in that game. If you haven't watched that one, you should check it out. It's pretty recent on the channel. That was against Shrike, actually. He's in the chat. He's Cold Blow Code. I don't know how many people know that. By the way, NoFun is ready to get the microwave emitter, whereas AGame's not even on Power 1. That's probably a good investment at this point. You see how many SCs he's got stacked, right? Well, just one, actually. But he can take the one SC in the carrier, move out. He's got a lot of power. I mean, he should be leveraging it. This is probably the first kind of, like, mistake that I think he's making. But microwave emitters are on the way, so I have a feeling he kind of understands. Yeah, I should do that. Important thing to note, the microwave emitter's range is greatly decreased in patch. I think... Did I mention this in my patch review video? Because that was kind of important. Yeah, I think I did. Here comes Rayleigh MP. Hold up, I'll spare this thought for a moment. Actually, it's only going to catch 2 of the AVs, but that's pretty much a death sentence. That's what makes Rayleigh MP useful. If you've ever played 3v3s against Tom, uh-oh. Barrage that boy. Yes. Oh, it's a bit late. Well, it'll catch one of the rails at least. Really kills it. Anyway, yeah, if you've ever watched Tomcat playing his 3v3s, you know, you're probably well acquainted with Railgun EMP. Or, sorry, from Siege Cruiser EMP. Maybe I said Siege Cruiser EMP twice, because A-Game's telling me it was Con of Siege. But anyway. The advantage here, of course, is that, like, when units are in the retreat, you just lob this over, and if you catch any of them, you just kill them, right? And it just goes so well with the kind of, like, war of attrition game that these Siege Cruisers want to play. They have really high burst damage, and then they're able to kind of back away. Burst damage, I'm saying, of course, from the artillery barrage, which is kind of different. How do I explain this? That is actually sustained damage, but, like, then it has a long cooldown, so, like, they burst you. I don't know, it made sense in my head. The point is, if he catches units on the retreat, you know, he'll kill them for sure. And that EMP is really nice to just sort of isolate a couple of them. Good upgrade. I think it's kind of underused, but it is difficult to use, so I mean, I can kind of understand why. Yes, very insane, I would say. Total back and forth here. Well, I agree, Strike, because he hasn't moved in with air and with units at the same time. I feel like he has pushed in, though, but he's kind of gotten killed when he does it. Here come triple bombers to just kind of snipe this SC. Yeah, let me check the resource tab. He is pretty high on RUs. Units lost. Oh my gosh, what is this? Wow, I didn't realize that was happening. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. A bunch of rails here now for A-Game, which is kind of what he needs, but what do you do? Where do you put your anti-air? These bombers are still just insane. Not to mention, we also have microwave emitters, right? Yeah, man, I mean, he's playing really good. This is crazy, you know? Wow. Uh-oh, this bomber needs to dock. Okay, he's gonna get the dock off. ALM's being put down, but here's the microwave emitter. So this is, I think, a good placement because it restricts his opponent from retreating. His carrier is gonna eat the barrage here, but I think... No, he doesn't really have enough rails for this push, though. Yeah, all of a sudden this looks quite bad. No, he's not going to lose his carrier here, but... I think maybe the microwave emitter is best saved for when he's got his bombers with him, too. Because he's got 3 bombers, right? You can imagine if he donk, donk, donk. This flank is just totally open, and that microwave emitter would have facilitated this kind of split out here. Oh, is that Conif Air? Ooh. We have SCAA, and I know there's one of them with the carrier, but it's kind of low. Oh my, you're gonna get chunked. Oh, whoa! Look at the split! Yes! This is what I want to see. Here comes a base runner, by the way, to try and extract. Now, the interceptors don't want to be wasted against strike craft. They're not very good at that. Yeah, seriously, man. That was quite good. Uh-oh, no, you should stick around and kill this base runner. You just saw the missile battery burn the thing. This is a great time to push, although you could get hit by blast drones, but he's got armor too. Yeah, and this base runner will go down, which is really nice. The thing is, now when NoFun leverages the bombers, there's going to be this threat of air. And there's no way he knows about it, but if these LAVs happen to push in, which I feel like they should here, maybe they catch a sight of them? No. The game seems to be aware of that. Now the bombers are moving out. Once he knows where those bombers are, I think all 3 of them die. There's just no anti-air. There's SC anti-air, right? But that's only over the carrier. 2 base runners as well, so we can put down turrets, but it's going to be too late for those bombers if they make a sortie over here or something. It's just going to be game over. This amount of LAVs, though, they will just kill assault ships, especially if you micro this one away from the pack, but it doesn't look like he's taking much AoE anyway. Not sure if the split here is 4, actually, but he should just focus on one target. I'd say just kill the assault ship, because the PC's kind of all or nothing type of targets to attack. If you target the assault ship and then you kill it, you know, you're saying, look, if you didn't send someone out here to help, you're going to die, and then he comes over here with an attack. Which is good. Another KC goes down. Okay, but here are the bombers. He has SCAA, he has 2 base runners. So this is going to be some dead interceptors. But he needs to set... Oh, I didn't catch the targeting jammers, by the way. But he needs to be setting down, turret posts, I think. Because you would catch a lot of these interceptors like that. Ooh, a lot of damage, though. Takes out the SC... These LAVs aren't really going to be able to do anything at home, so that was a really good engage for A-Game. Of course, he had the microwave emitter too. I feel like if the microwave emitter was placed like right here, I feel like that might have just been, you know, game over. Also, no, I don't, but I really should, because it's like the classic thing. You know, the classic bozo move is to throw, right? Second base is mining out now. Means we got about 2 minutes left on the clock. Yeah, 2:30. We lost all 3 of the bombers like I predicted, which is quite bad. We still have a gunship. Now, the gunship is going to be good against mass rails too, but again, it has to be protected by these... Or, protected from... Gosh, from my hiccups from these interceptors. There's one downside to Majir's replay functionality. The blob of green death. Yeah, I sort of have to agree. You look at what NoFun has got on the field now, and it's quite dwindling, and he's out of CUs on the second too, so at this point it's very hard to rebuild. Micro is going to be launched, but this is also CUs, and I feel like unless you're going to get kills with this, you can't be using it. This would have been much better earlier, but... Oh, well that sucks. Well, I mean, the LAVs can try and stop it, but I guess if you're saying that, it probably doesn't work. Oh, no, I like that. You give him a chance to show off what he's got, huh? I think, looking back on this, I think that if the coalition, or if the Saban carrier had put more power in range, this might have made a big difference. And this is something that I've learned playing Conf so far. Or sorry, Saban, is that it seems to be very important to have power in range, not necessarily in weapons. I think the reasoning is because basically, like, if you get us on power 1, it's almost like having one Saban rail that has, you know, 9,500 HP, right? If he gets range up anyway. And so then you can contribute to fights with this carrier, even without, you know, like, enough power to fully power range and weapons. So I think if NoFun had had less power and weapons, he probably would have done a lot better this game. Because from what I can tell, I think that he didn't really get much damage with this carrier. And of course, I wish that there was like, I wish that there were like damage graphs and stuff. That would be a really nice tool. But, like, show us how much carrier damage, you know, we got. Or like, if you selected a unit, it could tell you like how much damage it's done, instead of just having this XP system. But, that's my thoughts anyway on the matter. Looks like NoFun's moving up through mid here. I mean, this might just be a reaction to the fact that he's desperadoing against the Space Runner. Like AGameAnx said, he could obviously just extract this, but doesn't look like he will. If NoFun picks up an artifact here. Like, well, okay. But, oh, you know what? If NoFun picks up an artifact here, if his opponent extracts, he doesn't lose. Huh. Anyway, I will do this. What's going on over here? Oh, this is a bit suboptimal. Although 2 SCs healing each other and 1 AV, I think that ought to be too hard for an assault ship poke. Although the missile ship might have something to say about it. This is armor 3 too. Speaking of which, AGame's upgrade game is like, well, it's A game right here. You know, it's like he's bringing his A game. Anyway, this is quite a lot of upgrades. I mean, it's on pretty much every unit that he's using. Except for sand skimmers, which he has none of, but... I don't think ALMs are terribly relevant at this point, although they do cost CUs, but... But yeah, he actually can't push this SC here. I don't think, anyway. Like, he can just tank that barrage. I think he can actually push out and kill the AVs with these SCs here. Although this one shouldn't be moving forward like that. If he keeps them together, I bet he can, but I suppose he doesn't want to lose his base. He would have to kind of debase to do that. Just taking some stock of the field here. We have really no CUs for NoFun, so anti-air turrets are out of the question. If he had used... So, maybe he didn't have the money for this. Perhaps that's what was going on. But if he had used anti-air turret posts... And if he had used the microwave emitter in that one big climactic fight, I feel like maybe he would be almost ahead here. Might be wrong though, but of course we're mining out all the CUs on the map at this point, so there's really nothing left for AGame to rebuild with. So this battle is pretty important. This, by the way, is something that we very rarely see in games. This is sort of like a hyper late game scenario. This should be a definite ECM here. It's a good targeting jammer, but the ECM needs to come out like right here. ECM, is that even what it's called? Wait a minute. Sorry, I'm going crazy. Didn't get launched though, so he's just gonna have to back away here. The army's been wiped. Wait, what happened to these guys? What the heck? What am I thinking of ECM then? What does that mean? Anyway, I really don't know what happened to these guys. Like, they just disappeared. Yeah, what the heck? What? Oh, I turned off reveal all. You know, that would explain it. Okay. Best caster of the world right here, man. This is kind of a death push right here, though. Oh, it's the jammer. Oh, okay. I knew I wasn't going crazy. Yeah, that's the name of the jammer in the like internal game files. And there goes the carrier. But oh my gosh, man, what a freaking battle. That was insane. Wowza. You know what I mean? I mean, we got to this situation. This almost never happens, right? There's only like 81 REs left on this third base. And I know that's a little bit artificial because obviously A-Game could have just kind of extracted if he wanted to, but it's very, very rare that we get a game that goes to the hyper late game where there's just no resources left. Especially when players are good about getting artifact pressure and stuff. Because, you know, when you reach sudden death, whoever's ahead just wins. Holy goodness, man, that was a freaking game. Wowza. Well, we're gonna keep casting. We got more to do. But I'll turn off the recording here and then restart it so this can go up to YouTube.